fair to say, Squid, that this match really comes down to Taroko versus Skills and then the supporting cast that each team has behind, each player has behind them?
I feel like to a certain degree you could argue that, but at the same time, I feel like Mektos could also be the lead for Plot Twist. I will agree with you on this situation because I feel like Taroko is a little bit more of a force. So that seems to be the general consensus as well amongst other people in the scene. So I'll give you that point. I feel like Mektos could definitely be a contender, but at the same time, it's Taroko.
It wouldn't surprise me at all to see Taroko and Mektos take over this whole series. We know how deadly they are as a tandem. As far as duos go in North America, there are very few that have the consistency and experience that these two have and the success, the results that they've been able to put up over the past 6 months.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and oh my goodness. Mektos and Taroko, you mention how all the time how they dominate the 2 scene, and they really do. Very powerful on the offense as a unit, and then with Pirates to hold down the back line, you got to be fearful for anybody that's facing off against them.
So here's what's really on the line for both of these teams. You've got this Plot Twist team that if they win, they're not guaranteed top 4 just yet. Some other results could go a certain way and hurt them, but losing also doesn't hurt them, and that's really what helps them immensely because they can play with not a lot of pressure at all.
Yeah, and I mean, for Plot Twist, you mentioned how there are more important matches obviously later today, but moving up those standings is always great. So, I mean, getting a series win here, and then the dudes, they could move up in the standings potentially. So we are saying how, well, you know, they're not playing for top 4, obviously. They're just playing out here to show what they're made of, and maybe potential sponsorships. But at the same time, they can also get maybe a couple thousand, but at least maybe $1,000 or $2,000 is what might be on the line for them. So, you know, still some reason to come out and play, and I feel like Skills, Ralph, and Joe Freshness are definitely going to bring their best to the table no matter what. They had an amazing run in the DreamHack qualifiers. I'll give them credit for that one. They took down some RLCS level teams. Don't get me wrong, they are a powerful squad, but I still feel like Plot Twist are going to be able to eke it out.
Yeah, they should be able to again on paper, but one team that's hoping for a major upset is RBG because as a result of their win earlier, if the dudes find a way to knock off Plot Twist, RBG will secure a spot in the top 4, and that leaves only 1 spot up for grabs, and it really does make the final match of the day between Plot Twist and the Embers. Winner goes in, loser goes home. So we will see exactly what happens between the dudes and Plot Twist. A lot of interested parties watching this match right here. And we are underway in game number 1. Taroko going quickly up after this off the opening kickoff. Joe Freshness to challenge him. He's got Ralph at midfield, but Ralph will have to withdraw, and Mektos will try to play one right by him.
And again, what Holoran was saying, we're looking for Ralph. Is he going to be playing as well as he did last week, or is it going to be a little bit of a reversion to see if they're going back to their more defensive ways?
It was just the way it was always going to pan out. After we had mentioned that Ralph had gone over an hour without scoring, he goes off for 7 goals in that series against the Peeps, and he almost single-handedly ruined the Peeps season. They got a little bit of help on Saturday morning last week. Mektos from the ceiling, and it'll be right around Joe. Over top of him, Pirates will connect with Taroko, and that was a little confusing defense in front of the blue net.
Well, Pirates connecting with Taroko, but watch right here because he also connected with Ralph in a different way. A huge T-bone on the only player in the net leaves it completely open for Taroko, and they've got the first goal.
So Taroko does strike first for Plot Twist. What do the dudes have for an answer? The answer to that question has been not a whole lot throughout the season. Taroko goes over top of Skills. He missed it entirely, and Taroko's got a second.
Well, if you find an open spot to take a shot, you might as well, and a great crossbar down angle. Skills, I mean, you mentioned that, sometimes you just miss a little bit, but I think he might have been expecting that one to go off the backboard, and then, he would have had a touch away. Plenty of things going into that one. But maybe the point is they got 2 goals.
Skills will play that off the corner in his own zone that Ralph has to try and play further. Now Ralph will have a look, and that shot's going to be blocked well out in front by Taroko. Joe Freshness to his own corner. Has his bucket picked by Pirates. And now Taroko out for Mektos. The deadly duo comes up wide here as Mektos' shot goes sailing far right.
Fantastic idea with the passing plays coming across and a good connection as well. Just couldn't quite put it on target. Now we're going to have to see if the dudes can start something up because we haven't seen any of them really in the offensive end so far. It's all been a story of plot twist, which, if you ask me, isn't really that big of a plot twist.
That ball drops down and almost found its way in. Ralph will clear it away. And it'll be Pirates with a full tank of boost. Can he get to this ball? No. Skills does. And the dudes are denied their first goal of the day as that ball is sent away by Mektos. Skills will try again. Turoko does make the save here. Skills will try passing this time. It's Ralph with a drive and Pirates stops him.
No touch there from Joe Freshness, though. Accidentally let that ball go past him. Hopefully the dudes don't get punished too hard for that.
Ralph does get this away with Turoko chasing him all the way. And now Joe Freshness downfield. Skills got the flick on, and it's Turoko who makes another save. Mektos will clear this off. Pirates had a look at the side wall, but it will be rolled downfield by Mektos to be sent back in by Skills. Ralph is waiting. Joe at midfield. He's coming up now. Joe looking for the first goal. It's off the bar and away.
Great effort and a great angle, but just could not quite get it underneath the crossbar. Unfortunate, but it's good to see that the dudes definitely still have some life. A good passing play between the players, and now another one. It's off the backboard. Joe Freshness can't put it on target.
And that goes bar down as well. Mektos sweeps it away. Now he's looking for the angle. He's found it, but he's also found Ralph, who cut it off nicely. Follow-up is saved by Skills. No dice on the third as Pirates adds to the lead.
Continued string of offense will lead to a goal, but a great save there from Skills pre-jumping that shot. Pirates had an open net to work with, unfortunately, for the dudes, but it happens sometimes. A minute 48 on the clock. Plot twist to the 3-0 lead. We have seen some life out of the dudes, though. Their offensive presence was definitely tangible, and they're actually matching their opponents for shots at the moment.
This game, very uncharacteristic for Plot Twist. They come into this matchup averaging 1.42 goals per game. Why that number specifically? We'll get to it in a moment after this great score from Ralph.
I mentioned how the passing plays were coming together for the dudes, and it definitely did right here. A delayed touch there from Joe Freshness to get it around Turoko, and Ralph waiting for the midfield. So much faith in his teammate, and there's still life in the dudes. A minute and 33, and the deficit is only 2.
You can't expect Plot Twist to run away with the game because they also allow 1.42 per game. Yes, they have scored as many as they have given up on the season. That bodes well for the dudes trying to fight their way back into this game. Skills, however, blocked by Mektos, and now he'll chase this ball down. It'll angle downward, and Turoko sailed it high. Might have been interfered with from behind. Joe Freshness now will lob one downfield, has all the boost of the world to go chase it down. He's picked his spot, but the defense comes in.
And only barely at that. Ralph was looking for a physical play, and he was just a moment late on that one. So being tardy unfortunately cost them a goal right there. But so many passing plays, and here's one. Ralph off the top. Joe Freshness will finish it off. An excellent passing play once again.
Skills this, skills that. It's been all Joe and Ralph on the offensive end. Just narrowly missing was Ralph. He'll get an assist, though, as Joe brings them back within 1. Plot twist again, not blowing out a team the dudes are hanging around.
Ralph and Joe Freshness were the combo. When it came to the DreamHack Qualifiers, they took down G2, they took down Rogue, they took down Splice, and it was all Ralph and Joe Freshness making plays. And now I feel worried for Plot Twist because that is coming to the forefront right now.
They're doing all this without their star striker getting involved. Big demo from Joe, that takes out Pirates, but Turoko will drop another one into the zone. Ralph over for Joe. Skills is lurking, watching this play develop. Will there be a second chance opportunity? Not on that half of the field. And Ralph can't get anything in front of the net. With 13 to go, they have to reset. Skills dropping one down, he'll take it himself. He's been given time and space, he's around 1. Joe needs to bomb this away for Ralph. With 3 seconds left, over to Skills, can he get involved? Lobbed up and saved away by Turoko, but not out of harm's way. Joe for Ralph to tie it, and it's off the bar and away. Follow-up is in, Skills gets involved, and we're going to OT.
And what a bump, so much tenacity here from the dudes. This is a lovely play. Turoko doing all he can to get it away, but Ralph making sure that he's not gonna have a follow-up. Huge effort at 0 seconds, and the dudes are not done yet.
What we've seen all season from Plot Twist, you knew they were never going to run away with this game. The dudes hang around. Ralph trying to slow play around Taroko, who has to make 2 huge stops.
And I said that plot twist taking control of the game early on was no plot twist, but this sure is. The dudes coming back from this deficit like it's nothing. They are looking so strong right now. I am very fearful for plot twist at this point in time.
Mektos right at Skills. He gets the clear and avoids Mektos. Skills wins this challenge. Here's Ralph dropping one down. Joe coming on and Mektos sweeps it away.
Good idea on the passing play. Once again, using the backboard to their advantage. The dudes remain on the offense. A good pass from Ralph, blocked away by Pirates. And so much momentum in their favor. What with the 0-second goal and continuing on to the offense at the beginning of OT.
Oh, that's great patience from Joe. Pirates was trying to block him all the way downfield. He may have a look at a shot. He does! A Liverpudlian comeback complete by the dudes!
What an astounding play from Joe Fresh's pass one. Pass two on the 50-50, and he beats Pirates right here on the shot. Was not expecting that one to go into the upper right-hand corner. And what more can you say about the dudes except for that right there? I said that they could be playing for anybody out there that's looking at them, maybe looking to scout a team. That is the team you are looking to scout right about now. That is 16 shots on net. Where did that come from?
Well, 7 of them came from Joe Freshness, including the game winner in overtime. A strong performance, to say the least, from really 2 players that had been silent for a large chunk of the season. Joe and Ralph come up in a huge way for the dudes in game 1.
And the dudes as a whole came up in a huge way for the dudes in game number 1. Plot twist, we're looking to have all of the control there for a good portion of the game, and then it just suddenly got out of control. And I wonder how much of that is the dudes just popping off, and how much of that was plot twist just kind of laying back and taking it a bit more relaxed. And suddenly things are out of control. We don't have control of the situation anymore.
I think that first goal didn't really shake plot twist at all. It's the second goal when the dudes got back within 1. I think that's what really started to worry them, because what's happened to plot twist all season, anytime they've had a lead, they've almost always given it away. And I think a lot of the time they were thinking, oh my goodness, here we go again.
And I mean, when you have that 1-goal deficit, obviously it's your advantage. But at the same time, you always have that 0-second goal in the back of your head. And this time, it's not just in the back of their head. It was very real, and the dudes managed to take game 1 as a result.
It's one thing to have it in the back of your head. It's another very much worse thing entirely to have it in the back of your net.
There you go.
I could tell you knew exactly where we were going with this.
Very much so.
Joe Freshness challenged at midfield. It has been all dudes from the second half of game 1 up to the start here as they try to get on the attack very early. Send a message to plot twist. Mektos has given this ball away, perhaps. It is Ralph looking to center for Joe Freshness, and Pirates pops that ball away.
Early offense, though, from the dudes, gonna not bode so well. Mektos with a good pass from Taroko. And honestly, I'm looking to see if plot twists are able to respond in part, or if it's just gonna be the dudes who run away with this game now.
Taroko looking for a quick strike. He'll get it from Mektos. Boy, you have to imagine Mektos saw Taroko and goes, you see me.
You see me. Well, that is what Rocket League players say. I will admit, a great redirect getting that one underneath the crossbar. Plenty of speed behind it as well. In plot twist with the lead of 1, I guess I'm not wondering for very much longer if plot twists are going to be able to respond, because they already have.
Plot twist trying to tie this series after dropping a game that it didn't look like they were capable of losing. Mektos watches that ball bounce away from him. It will be Ralph looking for one more touch. He's got it, but Skill's way too far back, so Pirates will clear it away. Coming on now is Mektos. He'll find Pirates. Pirates gonna need to make a lot happen himself, and he cannot because Skills is all over him. Taroko now, one-on-one with Joe. Good luck, Joe. Not a chance. Taroko blows it right by him.
Good luck, Joe. I like how you say that, because he definitely would have needed luck in this situation. Taroko, even with the little amount of boost that he had, is so threatening there. He could go for fakes for days at that point, and Joe Freshness would never have a clue. But he just opts for the shot instead, and that's the way you do it.
Joe on the kickoff against Taroko. This time, Joe actually gets a piece of the ball, but it finds Mektos. And now Taroko. All the way down, it'll be Ralph watching this ball come to him. And Ralph challenged by Mektos. Well done. on the part of Plot Twist, not letting the dude start downfield too early. Now Ralph, his shot's gonna be wide, no follow-up, but all three cars for Plot Twist were right there, and the opportunities for rebounds are certainly there, especially if one skips away from that group of orange cars in front of the net.
The rebound is definitely going to be a threat for Plot Twist, playing that kind of defense, but at the same time, the dudes just wanted to play a safe midfield line. Almost an angle there for Pirates, couldn't quite find it, but still the ideas are there.
Oh,
great dunk from Skills.
Mektos able to get back. Rotation's important, kids. Here's another chance, though. Joe finds Skills. He will not be denied a second time.
Definitely will not. There is no way I think they could have denied him. 86 miles an hour, a cross-field pass, and Pirates just has to watch that one sail over his head. I don't think there's a reaction time in the world that could get you up in time to save that ball.
2-1. Plot Twist scored the first couple, but they've given one back. Or rather, the dudes have taken one back. There was nothing given there. Pirates coming around the corner. It is Ralph for Joe, not able to cut in time. Skills now downfield. Not placed exactly where he was hoping, but that ball goes all the way across. Ralph looking for Skills, instead finding Pirates. That means Joe has to rush back, and all he can do is pin it on the wall. He did not get the pitch he was looking for, and Mektos drops it in.
He didn't get the pinch he was looking for, and I honestly don't know how that pinch happened right there. Moving it up the wall is not something you often see, but having nobody else back, he obviously had to try for something. Didn't work out. Free net for Mektos, and now we're past the half. Plot Twist regained their two-goal lead. And honestly, it's up for the dudes now. I'm wondering to see if they can push out a little bit more on the offense. We saw a couple of great plays, including the fantastic passing play that netted their first goal. Will they have more?
Ralph keeps this play alive just by accidentally falling on that ball. Now Joe over towards Ralph. Joe will have a tough angle. Instead, he'll opt for Skills, and the shot is saved by Pirates. Rebound saved by Pirates as well. The former Peep coming up huge for Plot Twist. Now Mektos, he's given possession away, but Ralph and Joe are too close to each other. Really nobody to pass to. And now Taroko forces his way downfield. He could score from here, but he won't. And it will be set all the way back out for Pirates.
And where have we been in this situation before, Stacks?
Oh, it was worse. Last time around, it was 3-0. Here's Mektos. He's looking to carry this in himself. Add another to the tally, but he's blocked by Ralph. I don't know how. Follow-up is going to go through. It's another 3-goal lead for Plot Twist.
Okay, the shot was well and good at it and everything, but how did Ralph read that flip reset so well? How exactly do you manage that? Obviously, it didn't go their way, and Taroko was still able to plant it in the right side of the net, but how in the world did he manage to trace that so well?
I've met Ralph. I gave up a long time ago trying to get inside that man's head. This one's going to be just wide. Mektos, blocked away by Joe Freshness. Now Ralph looking for Skills, but that pass a little too strong. Skills has to go a long way to track it down. Looking to play this himself, drop down, and it will be nowhere near the front of the net. And Plot Twist, it looks like they're going to hang on to this one, but they still have 50 seconds. They can't give up a cheap one. Skills for Joe Freshness, and Pirates sitting right on the goal line makes yet another save.
Unfortunately, couldn't get that one up high over top of Pirates, but the idea is still there, and the dude's offense is definitely still alive, which is good. A wonderful save there from Mektos to keep it at a 3-goal deficit. Final 30 seconds now on the clock, and Plot Twist looking relatively strong as we move into the final leg of this game.
Plot Twist are going to pull even in this series, but not for lack of effort on the part of the dudes. It has been 7 saves for Plot Twist, 4 of them from Pirates, a couple of them within 5 seconds of each other. Ralph with a drive. That's saved by Pirates. He doesn't get credit for that one. Joe now looking to center again. He has Ralph pre-jumping, but could not get the pass off, and that will do it in game 2. Much more one-sided affair for Plot Twist. They play the full 5 minutes this time, and they have tied up this series, which again, is not a must-win for them per se, but game differential being as important as it is, Squid, getting every win you possibly can and dropping as few as you can to a team like the Dudes, who you got to be expected to sweep them on paper. It's got to be so huge for them.
Yeah, and it was definitely a good way to bounce back. I'll say 4-1, A good score line. Obviously, the dude's able to sneak away with that one, but it was a great passing play. Can you really fault Plot Twist for that? Other than that, they had a phenomenal defense the entire game. Pirates with 4 saves of his own, as you talked about earlier, 7 in total. Good stuff across the board. And I feel like Plot Twist definitely did a great job of just making sure that they didn't fall out of this game. Once they had that lead, they didn't let it go, and they made sure to shut down the dudes on the offense.
4 has been the magic number for both of these teams. 4-3 in overtime after that incredible comeback win for the dudes in Game 1. 4, plenty for Plot Twist in Game 2. Now we look ahead to Game 3, and so often you see, sometimes with these offensive shootouts, eventually the teams regress. The defense starts to take over. I don't think there are many defenses that can keep these two teams at bay the way they're playing.
And Plot Twist, they're trying their hardest, but the dude still got that one. And again, can you blame them? It was an absolute slam of a shot and a great passing play to boot. So at the same time that Plot Twist played phenomenal defense, it's still not enough to keep the dudes completely shut out. And so they did have to rely on those extra goals to get them through to the end of the game. But for the dudes, there is still definitely a spot where you can plant goals.
The dudes this season have looked about as consistent as a pair of dice. At their best, they can knock off RLCS teams, as you mentioned, in the DreamHack qualifiers, and at their worst, they look like a team that is 1-5 playing their final match here in the Rival Series. That ball will drop off the backboard. Ralph with a floater up above, and that rebound is sent away by Pirates. Another chance is deflected away by Mektos. And that is how game number 3 gets underway, with both of these teams looking to go to within 1 win of picking up, for Plot Twist, a huge win, and for the dudes, more of a symbolic win, something to hang their hat on as they finish the season.
Same kind of deal for Upper 90. They may be 1-6, but they had that one win over the Peeps, and they definitely took a lot of teams the distance where we maybe didn't expect them to. So at the same time, the dudes might be looking for that kind of positioning and maybe a little bit of extra cash if they can take the win in this series.
Joe Freshness does not have the boost to follow this play up. Ralph will set up skills, however, and Pirates, I think he just suspended himself in air there. He looked like he stopped his momentum and managed to make the save. Joe trying to run interference, and Ralph will have to watch as this ball goes all the way down to their defensive end.
Offensive game it is, and oh, what a pass, but Mektos feels backflip, man, right in the box. Very unfortunate for Plot Twist, but they're not losing yet.
Skills trying to recreate what we saw between him and Joe earlier. Hasn't worked out for Skills. Instead, Ralph is forced to play some defense. Joe taken out of the back. That may slow down the dudes enough. Skills with a great challenge on Mektos. Keeps the offense running. That is trouble as Taroko trapped that ball, and Pirates there to scoop it up.
The dudes maintaining this offense, though, and Joe for the shot. Oh, not quite. Thanks for playing. Come again.
It'll be Pirates looking for the flip reset. I think he got it, but that did not look pretty. Taroko banking one out, tried to play it himself. Ralph is all over him, so he takes out Ralph. Problem solved. Pirates over to Mektos. Doesn't have anybody to pass to, so he has to wait for someone to make a mistake, perhaps. Nobody has. Skills has found Ralph, and Taroko read the shot the whole way.
Excellent pass defense, making that touch after the fact, obviously. Pass interference can be important, but as long as the ball doesn't get to the goal line, I suppose it's not that big of an issue. Plot Twist, a common theme for them in this and last game, has been them making those passing and defensive plays. That one's going to roll in front of the net. They will be able to get it away just past the half, and we're still scoreless.
That is pinched downfield by Mektos and Pirates. Pirates is waiting for Joe. He missed it, and Joe and Skills combine to swat that ball away. They slam the door shut. Now another drive. That's saved by Skills as well. He can do it on both sides of the field, and he's been called on to play a ton of defense, but he turns it into offense.
And a big misplay here from Taroko. I don't know any other way to put this. He was the backfield man, and he went for a ball that he did not even come close to hitting on that one. Realized he was too far forward to make the play on the ball, and it went down, but it was too late.
See, in ranked, you can all skip the replay, and you're saved the humiliation of watching your boost trail writing out letters in the sky as you try to get back into position. It is Pirates now, looking to get that goal back, though, for Plot Twist against Joe Freshness. That's thrown off to the corner. It'll be played back in by Taroko. Brilliant pass, and Mektos' shot sent away by Ralph, who for all his offensive struggles has been very good defensively for the dudes.
The dudes have just been strong all around, really taking Plot Twist the distance so far, and wonderful save there from Joe Freshness, and a good clear to follow as well. Rapidly approaching the final 90 seconds of gameplay, and they maintain the lead of 1. What used to be a largely offensive game now seems to be a largely defensive game.
Up the wall this goes. It'll kick right out for Joe Freshness. Ralph, he's still sitting back. I didn't think he was going to leave his own net. He does, as he forces that ball around him. Skills misses entirely. That means Pirates can have a shot that Joe Freshness sends away right at Ralph. With 1:05 to go, looking for insurance, but Taroko clears it away.
And I gotta give Dudes credit, so far it doesn't really look like any of their clears have been playable for Plot Twist. It's always gone to a teammate or somewhere in empty field. Ralph can't score that one, but Skills sure can. Off the rebound, 51 seconds to go, and they've got insurance.
Ralph with his 4th assist. Great pass off the crossbar there. Skills there to clean up. Even if it was intended to be a shot, it wasn't cleared away. That ball was just allowed to drop down in front. Skills picks up his 4th goal of the series. He has both goals here, and Ralph almost added to the total. A 3rd goal at this point would have certainly ended game 3. This one could. Mektos looking for Taroko, and Taroko barely got a piece of that, as Joe did as well. Down to 30 seconds. Pirates couldn't get a lot of power on this. It will find its way out to Mektos, dropping down for Taroko, but Taroko could not react in time. Now Skills. Oh, that's good by Taroko to at least get the ball off of him, and it gives Plot Twist a chance. But they've only got 15 seconds. Taroko has nothing to work with. He has to go all the way back just to get any boost at all. Now he can grab the center line. But with only 5 seconds left, the dudes are 1 win away from punching RBG's ticket into the top 4.
And this would be a huge upset, to say the very least, and the dudes were only barely able to get the win in game number 1. We must remind you that that was a 0-second goal with a lot of frenetics behind it, I might add.
Yes.
A 0-second goal, then winning in overtime, and now this is their first regulation win, and they're doing it in, well, they're doing it pretty solidly. I'm not going to make any sort of indications to imply that Plot Twist did a bad job, but the dudes were really the name of the game in this one. There's no doubt about it. And Joe Freshness, I have to give him major props. 5 saves. He's doing work.
They have 7 assists as a team on, let's see, it looks like 8 goals total for the dudes. They have been a full team effort in everything they've done. On defense, the passing in the backfield has been great. Then moving into offense, and they've transitioned into offense very quickly. We saw Skills, the first goal he scored in that game was a product of turning defense into offense in a flash. And now they are 1 win away from finishing their season on a very strong note.
And that's actually something I touched on earlier, is the dudes have been making a very good point of never clearing the ball to an opponent. We've seen very limited opportunities for Plot Twist to make an effective run back when it comes to trying to keep the ball in the blue zone. The dudes are always just throwing it wherever they aren't. Just throwing it in empty space, throw it to one of their players. Anywhere where there's not a Plot Twist player, the ball is headed, which has got to be frustrating if you're Pirates, Mektos, and Taroko, because you know that they can play very well capitalizing off of those kinds of missed clears, and the dudes are not doing any of that at all.
And it's not like they're doing this against a bunch of nobodies. This Plot Twist team, they are very dangerous. We've seen how quickly they can jump all over a team. RBG knows how quickly they can jump all over a team. That's what happened on RBG's debut match. Plot Twist looked like world beaters, but right now it is the dudes 1 win away from upsetting Plot Twist. And if that happens, RBG eSports, they can stop sweating, and they don't have to worry so much about this match coming up with Birds and the Bees. Underway in game 4. Skills trying to pinch one away. Pirates off the leave from Taroko, trying to run interference in front. Got a piece of nobody. Skills, however, takes out Mektos. That could really throw Plot Twist for a loop. Mektos does not have much boost other than what he started with off the respawn, but Taroko makes a huge stop, and now he can turn that into offense with Pirates coming on. He is met by the defense of Joe.
High-octane gameplay right off the bat for both of these teams. The dudes trying to move upfield with that one passing play that we saw, and Plot Twist have responded in their own kind, and now things really starting to heat up. Plot Twist do not want to lose this by any stretch of the imagination. They want to secure their own top 4 spot if they can.
Taroko playing this through. Bank shot off the ceiling to drop one for Pirates, but he couldn't get there in time to get a shot. Skills now downfield. He will be denied by Taroko. And now Taroko looking for Pirates. Looks like Pirates is running away from that ball, just trying to create any kind of an angle. Still shut off by Joe. Joe's been outstanding defensively in this series, and the demo from Skills, he almost got a shot out of it as well. Taroko needs to have this ball, and he does. And it looked like he baited Ralph in just a little bit to play it over him. That causes Mektos to have a shot that Skills sends off to the corner.
Baiting your opponents into diving on offense, definitely a smart play, but at the same time, it could benefit your opponents. If you have to play around the defender playing so far upfield, could cause some issues for you trying to transition downfield. Great touch there from Skills, and the dudes holding strong on their defense. However, Plot Twist still lurking in the offensive zone.
This will be Joe. Popping one up. Needs a teammate to come up to him. Nobody really there. He couldn't get a pass off if he tried. Pirates well wide, looking for a second opportunity. He will find none. Mektos coming in. Taroko is there right on the back line. Pirates will look to float one over Skills, but Skills makes another stop. Ralph circling back, knows he's going to be called on to make a save, but he's not. Mektos missing the target. And while sometimes missing the target can bait defenders out, if you're nowhere close like they were there, there's not a whole lot of damage done by Plot Twist.
And Plot Twist right now, they might be getting a little bit frustrated by this at this point. They're trying to make passing plays and get them set up, but nothing like we've seen out of that one. A great save on the goal line by a Plot Twist. Bemmer just barely getting that one away. The dudes almost called them out on transition, and that might be the most frustrating part. They're trying to make passing plays, but it's only the dudes who are actually ending up with any success.
It is Joe Freshness taking his time, and Pirates giving him none of it. Skills all the way to the opposite end. He'll follow this play up himself, but Pirates rotates in to guide one off to the corner. Now Taroko. That'll drop down. Skills, boy, he had to take his time playing that ball. Had to be very careful because he knew Taroko and Mektos were right there. Pirates stuffed Skills. This ball still finds its way through. Taroko didn't get all of this. Joe in front, looking for someone to pass to, finding nobody as Pirates makes the clear.
And he was looking for an attack of opportunity there as well, was hoping he could get the read on the ball and put it on target. Just not quite enough time, bounced a little bit wayward. And now Plot Twist gonna be actually thanking their lucky stars for that one. It got so close to their goal line with seemingly such a big scramble by the defense. Things not really shaping up for the Plot Twist boys at the moment.
Mektos drops one over to Pirates. Now Joe Freshness. Skills will play this. Joe is there, but that side flip doesn't help much. Does recover and at least plays this downfield. But they're not out of trouble at all. Big pass in front. The shot is high. The rebound opportunity goes in from Pirates with only 43 to go.
And finally, a passing play starts to bear some fruit. Mektos with a great touch onto the back wall there. Keeps it as low as possible without just getting it denied by the crossbar. Allows for that spot for Pirates to take the shot. Now they got to hold this one for 43 seconds. And, well, we know the dudes are good at making 0-second goals, at least when it comes in clutch.
And they don't need to wait at all. Another just beaming pass from Ralph, and Joe drives it right through the back of the net.
A great angle getting this one past Mektos, and Taroko can't get up in time either. And for the dudes, in their minds, well, you know, it makes a lot of sense to get that goal at 0 seconds, but it also makes sense to just score before 0 seconds. That way you don't have to worry about it.
We give Ralph a lot of flack. We gave him quite a bit for not scoring, but after last week, he scored a lot. He's got a lot of assists today, but nobody's home at the back, and Taroko puts Plot Twist back in front.
And I feel like there might have been a little bit of a red around the edges on the vision of the dudes with dreams of trying to take this one in regulation, because there was nobody close to the back line on that shot. Taroko has everything to shoot at, and now 27 seconds left. The dudes already brought it back once. Can they do it again?
We talked about Taroko and Skills going head-to-head here. 5 goals apiece. What a save! That one made by Joe. Nobody's there. Mektos could not finish. Taroko does his 6th of the series. That could put away game 4.
And I have to wonder, Mektos is a huge 1v1 player, and so is Taroko. He could have seen Skills going off the ceiling of that net and realized, I have a better option of just faking out Skills right here. And it looks like he did intend to do that because he went pretty wide of that ball. I would say that was a calculated fake. Mektos knows very well when those options are viable, and Taroko was right behind him. Could have been some great communication. I'm going to give them credit for that one, and a great play overall. For Plot Twist to get that insurance goal and send it straight to 0 seconds, we're headed off to game number 5.
Yes, we are. I mean, what did you expect, right, Squid? Of course this was going to go to game 5. It's week 5. Well, everybody giving all they've got, and it comes right down to the wire in both matches so far.
Let me ask you. You asked me if I expected anything different. Did you expect anything different?
Oh, I expected Plot Twist to just roll in this match. I did not think that the dudes were going to do it twice in a row. You know, come up big against the Peeps at the end of last week and then do it again in their only match this week when they didn't have anything to play for themselves as far as top 4 is concerned. But they have come out firing, and they have not backed down from this Plot Twist team. That's what's most impressive to me.
And that actually does beg the question. The dudes came out strong last week against the Peeps, but they weren't able to close it out.
Correct.
Is that going to be the same story today, Stacks?
It would seem to be the case after what we saw from Plot Twist, at least able to close that game out in convincing fashion. But they did give up a few more opportunities than you'd like to see if you're a fan of Plot Twist, and certainly if you're on that team. You can't expect them to not convert those opportunities. But talk about that goal from Joe. I mean, that had to be placed perfectly, and it was. And we've seen that a few times between Joe and Skills. They have had pinpoint accuracy at times. But again, consistency, they need it.
Well, there's no doubt about it. The dudes are definitely coming out to play, and we've seen some of those brilliant passing plays. But is it enough to match Plot Twist? Personally, I'm not sure. Let's get into Game 5 and find out.
There's been only one game decided by one goal. It was 4-3 in overtime after the dudes erased a 3-0 deficit. We'll see if there is more drama waiting in game number 5. There usually is. This ball goes across. Last match notwithstanding, with the blowout win on the part of RBG. Joe Freshness, I think he was looking to throw that up at the backboard, but instead found a car dropping right on top of him. This will be Taroko, downfield looking for Pirates. Pirates hasn't factored in as much as he would have liked in goals and assists in this series, but he's still there, and he's been a pest for the dudes to deal with as Joe Freshness bombs one away. That's, again, that passing out of the backfield that we've been seeing all night from the dudes.
And my question right now, is Plot Twist going to be able to lock the dudes in their own half like we've seen? That box has been rather deadly for many teams. The dudes have been able to deal with it to a certain extent, but last match ended up with them losing it in the same situation. So now, are they going to be able to push out and make effective plays, or is it going to be more of the defensive gauntlet for Joe Freshness and his lads?
Joe banking one downfield that Pirates will bomb right back to the opposite end. Who is going to make the first mistake in this final game between the dudes and Plot Twist? Joe, I think that caught a piece of the ceiling, and that may have made Taroko's defensive effort just a little more tricky. Pirates misses entirely. Ralph does not, but he needs someone to pass to. Joe was coming on, but Ralph could not get the pass away. So Skills has to come up and challenge. And finally, Ralph gets rid of this ball, but there is no Joe Freshness downfield. He's been erased by Pirates.
Yeah, strange change of pace from the dudes. There was a bit of a drought there when it comes to touching the ball. They just kind of let it go for the longest while, and when they finally made a touch, it was just straight to a Plot Twist player. So now, the question is begged. What exactly is their game plan? Because things seem to be a little bit more tenuous for the dudes. We don't really know exactly what their plan is, but the passing plays don't seem to be as strong as they have been in the past.
A ball that will have a high bounce. Taroko's all over it, but his ball to the backboard is sent away by Ralph, who skips over another, and Taroko able to recover at the midfield line. Now Pirates off the backboard. Skills missed it, but Ralph did not. All the way downfield to Mektos. Mektos takes out Joe Freshness, but it's Ralph who plays the ball back in for the dudes. Another high hop That is saved off the line by Pirates. He's done that at least 3 times in this series.
Pirates has been a solid rock for Plot Twist. There has been a significant defensive effort by all 3 of their players. But right now, neither team really has a big advantage. I mean, we're looking at an even shot count as we move into the 3rd period of gameplay. Plot Twist try and continue this one on the offense, but so far, no connections have been made.
Looking at the star watch between Taroko and Skills. Taroko 6 goals, Skills 5, and it drops off after that. Ralph trying to prevent Pirates from getting a shot, and he does. Ralph only has the 1 goal to go with his 5 assists. As this ball goes all the way across, and Mektos will have to deal with that. He hasn't dealt with it very well. Ralph looking to double his score count. Ball popped up and sent away by Pirates, but only to Joe Freshness. Joe looking to run into Pirates, and it's Mektos who makes a save on Skills. Skills is still lurking there, but the ball will never reach him.
70 seconds now, we remain scoreless. Things starting to heat up a little bit. I wonder if we're going to see more games of connect the dots, or if we're going to start seeing more solo antics for both of these teams. Plenty of risk involved with either one. Getting caught on transition is the last thing either of these players wants.
Pirates clearing one away, but Ralph has that from the side, so Mektos just has to try and trap it along the back wall and find a teammate with it. He's found Pirates, who's looking for Joe, and Joe avoided the demo, but he got clipped anyways, so he can't recover, and Mektos scores late.
And that bump play is everything. There's so much time for Mektos to read this one. Taroko with the open net opts for the backboard instead, just to keep it consistent, just wants to make sure that Mektos can make the play there. So much faith in his teammate. 39 seconds on the clock. The dudes have come in clutch before, but now everything is on the line for this series.
This is huge, too, for both of these teams, and it's huge for RBG eSports as well, who have been watching, hoping the dudes can take care of all of their drama. Skills to the side, it's intercepted by Pirates. Now popped up by Ralph. Taroko leaves that for Pirates. It is loose at the center line and corralled by Mektos. Loose ball here. Good night as Plot Twist secure game 5.
Going, and gone. And that double commit has got to feel bad. Joe Freshness and Ralph both going for that ball, and neither of them makes contact. And that's all she wrote. Honestly, I cannot emphasize how bad that has to feel for those 2 players in that instance. Unfortunate, leaves the net completely open, and Plot Twist players are not going to miss that. Time ticks down. We have your final score, or maybe one extra, potentially, but we have the final series score at the very least of 3 games to 2 in favor of Plot Twist. A 3-0 scoreline at the end. That's why I didn't say anything right there, but Plot Twist will take the extra one to pad the stats.
7 goals in the series for Taroko, if you even want to bother counting that one, but he really shined for Plot Twist in this series, and he's a big reason why if they do get into the top 4, if they do save their season, they will have done so because of Taroko.